in the ES in the afternoon. Let's have a look at what the markets are doing. We're up 0.75% above that 15.6 right now on the NQ. Much in the same with the ES, up a third, though. We're decidedly above that 4,500. Nice move up as we got possibly news coming out from the Senate, even though it is a closed-door meeting today. The big tech CEOs all on Capitol Hill testifying about AI. And I guess the market liked it because we are decidedly to the upside. That is except if your name is Apple. Apple, one of the only negative names on the day in big tech world, as well as Netflix. We'll get to that in a bit. Apple not able to break through yesterday's close at 176.30, guys. We're at 175.25. Any look here on Apple?
We're right into it. Yeah, we're already short. It's already $1 in the money right now, but that's a nice move. Oh, you're also short. Okay, good. We're both short AMC.
I'm literally like, the market's at the high. We're both in all shorts, so it is what it is. But yeah, again, like it's sometimes that's what happens. There were some good longs. I just got out of all of them. It's just weird. I saw that and was like, oh wow, I kind of didn't realize that was the case. But we're here. We're square. We don't want any more bears. That's a little Homer Simpson action for you. I'm not in Apple. We did have Apple early this morning, but yeah, the Apple China ban, I thought it was pretty good news. I think for the long term, I don't want to say long term. Long term is the wrong word here for Apple. I've been long, I've been short. I'm not really trading it right now. The 175 level to me needs to get taken out, which I think it can. But I thought it was pretty good news that they backed off some of the rhetoric, but they went from saying it's an outright ban for government employees to saying, okay, well, if there's data issues, which they could then just be like, well, that applies to all applications. They could literally be a ban with this still. Just worded differently. So we'll see how this ends up playing out. It did feel like it was going to be positive, and then Apple sold off anyways. Could not get through yesterday's high. I had the short off of VWAP earlier. It was kind of working down into 174.77, and I'm sitting it out. If it break 175 as the market falls off the highs, I think you're back to what Apple has been doing, unfortunately. I know most of us own this in the portfolio in some way or the other, but it's just the correction or pullback or dip or whatever you want to call it is in. We haven't gotten to 170 on the daily yet. I feel like that is possible. I feel like the 165, the 200 period moving average, I think that is possible here as well. If it wasn't going to bounce on this semi-reversal, it's definitely relatively weak today because the market is, like we said, the market is at the highs. This is pulling back off said highs. Not a good look for Apple, unfortunately, but this is what it's been doing the last few days. It's no loss.
Yeah, we're still short. I mean, what are you talking about? Apple China ban? Yeah, well, that's going to be short-lived, I feel like. We were long Apple early, and then we lost it there at 175. Then we went back and forth at 175 again, basically a flat trade right there. And then what we're doing now is we shorted the top. Well, let's see if it's the top or not. But we shorted that 176 and change. So Apple finally came back in, right into sort of where we had dropped off from the early time there. Holy shoot. We are right now, guys, honestly, shout out.
Yay, yay,
I mean, we should almost substitute Sharif's face on that one. Brendo's not here. But there goes Amazon. Yeah, we're making actually a lot of bread on this one to the short side. I mean, look, it doesn't get much sweeter than this for me, where you just keep on shorting these tops, and now we break below the 200 period. We're almost at the highest spot we've been at all day right now, despite holding some of these shorts. But there it is, man. The market's finally breaking, and here goes Amazon, man. Now we're $1 and change. Watch out for 174 break here. 175 break on Apple, trying to go lower right now. But and then also another trade update. Trade alert right now. We didn't get into any Oracle in our long-term account, but hopefully it can drip down a little bit right now as we took some shorts against us. We're actually up on Oracle right now, but it needs to come back. If we don't get anything filled down here in your 30s, then it will be a red day for us on Oracle. But we're going to try the short. And why are we short Oracle? Well, it's at yesterday's spot right there that we tried to get back to of about 112.60, 112.70. So we're going to short that into 113 upside there on Oracle. So we don't actually have that on the board, so that's okay. But here comes Amazon. Amazon just broke. I have to put a bid out here because I don't think we have anything too much lower. Yeah, so that just broke through into the 90s there, 94. Right, I'm going to punch some O2s right there. We just punched them out there at O2. Let's bring Amazon back down in to the downside as this one's really working here on the short side. But yeah, big day, big aggressive day here. And yeah, this is why I love trading. You never know what names are going to pop in, right? I mean, that Oracle's going to the upside right now. Oracle might, if Oracle takes 113, then we're going to get out of that one and put an L, stamp a fail and an L on that, because we had all the time in the world to get out of this, you know, and when the market is doing this and Oracle is doing this, that's leading me to believe that we are offside. So,
remember, Oracle is SSR. Oh, the position board just went off again. Just before we go back to the desk, I just want to.
AMC is.
You're at the low of the day, or you're at the low of the day ish on a firm ish on a firm. There was a consolidation break. I know in the midday I was in the chat sort of talking about this one. We left you guys at 11 o'clock. I was going to put this one in lunch money, but because the trade went on right before, like it was a 24 level, and I just put the trade on. It got stopped out. I got back into it, so I was already in this one for lunch money. I didn't want to say, hey, 24 short, which we've already said. Because I'm sitting in it, it then went to that same 24 level. We're back at the lows for a firm. I think this is the day. I mean, it feels like it. Like the first day, you can actually get a decent pullback on a firm. This could be leading to a bit of a dip for that name. Just this is insanely strong. I mean, I don't even know what to tell you, but for a stock that we don't talk about very often, a firm has really been an absolute beast, and it looks like it is turning around here today. If this market rolls over, I think this is headed to the downside. I think AMC is probably screwed. I don't even want to look at WeWork. Because I promise you, if I look at WeWork, I'm going to be mad at myself. I was up away from the desk, and I bet you it was a big rejection off 6. These squeeze names are getting punked. I also want to look at the weed names. We'll talk about those. I don't see them. They're not on the list, but we will talk about those as well, because obviously they've been making moves. Back to Sharif.
I just found out Ramin's friends, some of them are Arsenal fans, so this is just fantastic news, guys. No, in all seriousness here, let's look at the big tech names, because a lot of those CEOs were on Capitol Hill, as I alluded to at the top, testifying about AI. It was a closed-door meeting, so we don't know exactly what was said, but I think things may be trickling out here. Let's look at Google. Google's up 0.87, strong on the day, up and to the right. Microsoft, much the same thing, 1.3 to the good. NVIDIA, 2% higher. Nice 457 bounce there. Meta as well, 1 1/3. And AMD, the leader of the bunch here, 2.82. Did you guys take any of these long?
I'll tell you this. I'm going to slap a fail on myself for Google, because I basically, on lunch money, I was like, Google breaking out 135.70. So it is what it is. I had to short into VWAP on Google. I did not reverse the trade on that double top. So I'll be frustrated with myself at that time. Look, I liked the firm. I liked a couple of things. It's not necessarily an excuse. It's just the truth. So short into VWAP. It broke out. That was a clean trade to the upside. The next curl, I took the short and then stopped out at the high. I think if you're going to go against the grain, you want to make sure that you're getting out where it makes sense to. But this was a reversal that I feel as if was low-hanging fruit that you can see I didn't grab into that long. Alphabet is a long right now. It is trending to the upside. On the daily chart, it's got some room to go to the top, so you want to give it some respect. Certainly 137, that's a resistance level from Monday. So you want to respect that, and if you pull back just a little bit further, you've got 138 from last week. So each dollar from here, like 37 and 38, represent resistance. But you can have a plan. You also want to follow that plan. I did the right thing in getting out of the short at the point where I thought it was a reversal, but I didn't actually reverse into the long. But you're about talking about ideas and looking for the key price areas to make a decision. The important thing is if you're in position on a stock and it's at a decision-making point, just make a decision. If I sit there and do nothing at that, what I know is a key price level, that's a mistake. Obviously, the next step usually is doing the reversal. Sometimes we do it, sometimes I don't. I don't think you always want to reverse at levels like this, but this is one that I said I wanted to do and then didn't end up doing it. It is what it is.
All right, this is going to look crazy, but we did tweet this out already, and it's going to be a very good moneymaker for me on Google today, despite this, right? And this is why we say you have to be the guy, because if you're going to short all this, you have to get out once it breaks. So we were just short. I mean, look at these trades. Short here, 135.80, 135.70. These outs are 135.20. Right back in here into the 200 end of the VWAP. And a lot of them were just easy outs, man, at the 50 period all day. We broke once. You can see a little bit of a break there. That's fine. We got right back in, obviously, short, and then out for flat. So Google is a very positive trade today for me. But I've traded all the big tech names. We're short Amazon. I mean, Amazon, again, all the big names today, P&L wise, are Apple, Amazon, Google, Intel, Nvidia, and we're trying to put Oracle in that basket as well. So we've traded everything. I feel like the best trade of the day, though, for me was this Intel that we took almost immediately, and then took profit and then got out once it broke through $39. But we only had a small piece at that point. So yeah, big tech continues to lead the day here for me and for the P&L. So yeah, we'll just continue to watch out and see if we find any more opportunities. It's about time to flip long, though. I mean, let's be perfectly honest. The NASDAQ has just gone all the way up, and we had the long earlier. I mean, look at this play on TQQ. It's loading up on the other screen. Right here. So we had this, and we got out of the last 5% right there. But look at this, just 200 period, man, all the way. Like, we had that right off the beginning of the day, right? And so that was a good trade until it wasn't. But yeah, we're gonna have to watch out. TQ's blasting up 1.9%. NASDAQ now really positive, up 0.63, and I'm sitting here in all these shorts. So let's just continue to watch out for this. We just got out of, we're out now, our Amazon. This is a much bigger move than we even thought. So we still have 25%. So it's not bad. And then I did punch out some more here on AMC as we're down here into the $8 range. But I liked it so much, I just punched in more on that one. So yeah, so far so good here on Big Tech Land. It's the number, honestly, TQQ, 1 for 1. Nvidia, we can't do any better on Nvidia other than should have took that profit. But there's the short 55 as put on the sticky note and out, right? So that's obviously a big one. Intel we just went over. We actually talked about Google as well. Amazon, we're currently in it. You could see what's good. And then actually I'm red on Apple. So I'm still red on Apple. Took a shot here because it was 945, a little more shares than we have right now. But we'll see if Apple can continue to go down, but we are red. So we're going to go 4 for 5 on Big Cap Tech, and then it could be 4 for 6 if Oracle breaks 113.
All right, guys, let's have a look at AMC. It made all-time lows last week on the news that it was going to sell up to 40 million new shares to raise capital. Investors and the market participants did not like that. Here's a look now. $7.38 is a low on the day, but look at that big move up. 5 2/3 we're at now. We were higher. We got to 8 1/3, retracing back into 8. Sean, what'd you see on this one?
Oh, that's so kind of you, Sharif. That was very nice.
Yeah.
Finally comes over to me. No, what I saw was just patience. And we talked about that. And it's just wait for this to happen. And honestly, it gave this top. And that's one top there, you could have shorted it. That's another top there, you could short it. So I just felt like, honestly, a little bit bored. We were just sitting here in the middle of the day, and I was like, okay, if we take the 21 period here, which is a level that we've looked at, we were running into the 50 period, which is why you could see we got some out at 16s and 15s, which is only 10 cents. And then the bleed just happened, and we came all the way back in. You could see more outs here at the 200 period. So we're making money. We're paying enough to maybe go watch one of the movies. My wife wanted to go see something. Something else is coming out. I forget what it is. But anyways, nice move to the downside there. And now we're just getting some out ahead of VWAP. So as we continue to float a little bit there, again, it was more just getting bored and then sort of, I think it was, the wind was coming out of WeWork. That's what it was, right? And then so as soon as I sort of saw that, I don't know if Neil said it or one of the guys on the other show said it, it was just like, okay, what's the next
It was 100% that's what it was, because I had taken it just then.
Right, it was like,
what's the next shoe to drop?
Yeah.
Because all the other ones were going down, and I missed WeWork.
Yeah, so it was just like, is there a name that's still up? And I looked and I was like, AMC is up 10%. So let's short that. I don't know if it was 10, whatever it was up there. And yeah, so it's pay dirt. So that was a good trade. I feel like the number one stock for me this month, I think, is AMC. And it sucks because we've just been going short it, but when the narrative is what it is.
Well, it ain't going up.
It's not going up. Yeah, it ain't going up. I like that.
Well, I don't know. Okay, fine. It's not going up. We should try to, we'll speak proper English.
No, I like the ain't.
No, we're not.
I like the ain't.
Ain't. It ain't going up, people.
But I ain't going long.
It's also, it's a level too. Like the other thing, the very first day, and anybody, you never want to ignore these types of things. Like the stock drops from $14 and makes a bottom. That bottom was $8.40. The very next day, if you ignore the pre-market, once we opened at 9:30, what's the high? The high is 840. So on the first day when it got absolutely destroyed, support was 840. On the following day, when it continues to go down, resistance is 840. And we noted that on the first day. If it gets back to that price, we like the short. So where did it happen to curl? Like when I saw WeWork that I missed, obviously I missed WeWork today, it topped at, AMC topped at 835. Well, that's underneath 840. First available consolidation break is the answer to the question of why short it. So there's your double top. The second it broke, here's a channel. It holds right here at 824 or whatever the heck that is, gets back up. Once it breaks that channel to the downside, initiate short position. It's breaking that channel. You give it to that 840, it gets the VWAP. The concern here would be it's an upward trend that just wicked VWAP. So it might be holding VWAP here. It's also $8. Maybe it's a long off here. I wouldn't, if somebody said they were going long off of $8 and risking to underneath VWAP, I couldn't necessarily argue with that as a trade, because the risk reward might favor it. I just think this is a short till it's not. And as I mentioned, I'll slap the proverbial fail for myself. Like WeWork was good early, and then it was okay there. And then the third time it stopped out. And then I said, I'm just gonna wait for the 6 level to short. Wick above 6, back to VWAP. Wick above 6, back to, so I've now missed it twice. The third time, wick above 6, back into VWAP and still flushing. So these stocks eventually come back into the downside when they are irrational. You just have to pick your spots with them. Don't get caught trying to overdo it. Make sure you have an out when you're wrong, and then make sure you get back in when it makes sense. Like look at all the wicks above that $6 level. And you ask why $6? Because yesterday this was the short. Right in here at 6 with a stop at 620. Like that was the one we had in the afternoon. Literally the same thing the following day. Trading, like patterns aren't necessarily complicated. Trading can be complicated, but pattern recognition shouldn't have to be that complicated.
All right, guys, Netflix took a big turn to the downside around lunchtime today. The CFO coming out and saying that the new password sharing crackdown has affected their ad tier accounts. That hurts advertising revenue. They also talked about where they're growing their users. 90% of their growth coming from outside the United States. That's very eye-opening. Let's look at the price action here. We're down 4 1/3%. We were down a little bit lower, trying to hold that 415 area. It's been down and to the right, guys. What a move down on Netflix. What's the look?
Oh, man.
So anyways, okay, so I didn't get the 75. I probably keystroke. I didn't get the 75 fill in my order. I got a rejection for some reason. But let's get to Netflix because, like I was saying this during lunch money, like I don't think it's necessarily a good sign when you get like news on these big cap tech names and there's just no bid when it's dropping. Like a lot of times it doesn't necessarily look like this. I've been trading a long time. Usually it doesn't look like this on flash news. Like you'll have some kind of green on the 3-minute when it's trying to hold a 430 level, let's just say. 425, nothing doing at 425. Again, no check, even dollar round levels, and there's just nothing happening on the bid for Netflix. That's not a great sign for the market. It ended up flushing even further to the downside. I don't have any trades on it, but again, during lunch money, we said if Netflix cannot hold that bottom, what do we want to do? We want to short Disney. So the second Netflix was like, okay, Netflix is continuing to go down, like short Disney off the double top. Like you're not going to sit here and tell me that you're fearful about that you're essentially fearful about the best name in the group in terms of a growth perspective, but then Disney's going to be okay and holding the highs. That doesn't make any sense to me. So Netflix not having a good day. It ruined Disney's strong day, which, by the way, if Netflix doesn't happen, nothing is 100% in life. But I'm pretty sure Disney's breaking out 84 and getting to 85, if not for that Netflix move. The market held the highs. The market was strong. Strong stocks were going to continue to go up. Blame it on Netflix. Disney was going to go another $1 here. I still think Disney's having a good bounce, but unfortunately, Netflix happened, and now we're trending down. Whether or not there's a short out VWAP this afternoon, we'll see. If Netflix continues its trend down, I think Disney can get all the way to the low.
Whatever you do, don't blame it on the rain.
Or do blame it on the rain.
Because the rain don't. Ooh. The juice has got
Blame
you
it on
feeling loose.
alcohol.
Oh, blame it on the Yeah, well.
Blame it on the vodka.
Oh, what's
blame
up?
it on
Hey,
the
Miss
Henny.
Cat. Oh, Miss Cat's out there. I was going to say John wanted a wave, so we'll go like this.
Hola, like and subscribe today.
Still the wrong one.
We are at, honestly, man, we are at our highest spot we've been at all day right now. So let's just, we're talking about Netflix. Netflix. Right there goes Oracle right now. Yes, sir. Bang. Let's go. Let's spin it. This is why we're up right now. And there it is right here, right now. Nice push on Oracle, man. Nice move to the downside. We just got a 38 fill. Like, that's 40 cents. We're happy with that. The reason why I was excited about this is that I thought we were pretty dead to rights there up at 113. It almost got us out, and then we got that little move down. So let's just take advantage of that. We're out of half of it right there on the move down, and that's what that is, man. We'll hit that all day, every day on that one. And then again, same thing with Amazon, man, is what's been really strong today. Take advantage of any moves down, and there it is right there on that. AMC breaking lower as well. Netflix, whatever, man. We've been talking about Disney for a while. I'll pass on Netflix and just continue. Come on, Oracle. Let's go. Can Oracle get back to 112? I'm bidding 21s right now for a third of what we have left. So hopefully we can come back in. That's 112 flat. But here we go, man. And I just said Oracle might be our second red stock on the day, but we have Apple right now, and we have Moderna actually flew down into that level. Shout out to Hampton's trader on that, as we lost on Moderna at the end of the day. But here comes Oracle. Let's go, man. 30 cents in the money. I may take another piece and then cancel that 20. But if the market continues to flush down here, we've got another one on board right now. So we've got Apple. Like, Apple's $1.40 in the money right now. AMC, we talked about it. Amazon, we talked about it. What's next? Tesla. Okay, let's go back over the desk. We'll get the story on Tesla, and then I'll have to explain why I haven't traded that today.
All right, guys, just a heads up. The CEOs have left the Senate now. It was a closed-door meeting. Chuck Schumer speaking to reporters, Big Schumi. Giving his take. Let's see what Elon Musk said. He came out and talked to reporters. He said he told senators at the AI meeting in Washington that it is important to have a referee, assuming he means something similar, I guess, to the FDA for AI. But Tesla specifically up on news that it is sourcing parts from India, about $2 billion worth. You'll recall that Elon Musk met with Prime Minister Modi back in New York about a month ago, and they're looking at opening up a gigafactory there, up 1.88% to the good. Any look here?
Tesla, look, obviously Tesla's relatively strong. I mean, the market has been trending to the upside. Tesla not necessarily holding trend all day. There was a big move to the upside early. I had a dip back into 271.5, and you can see it's like, okay, make dollar, lose 80, we're flat on it. And then when it came back above 270, I had the long going into VWAP. It's like long into VWAP. It broke VWAP, and then it was kind of this wick here got me out. Now, obviously, that's like it's not a losing trade, but it's a bad trade. I don't know if that makes sense. Hopefully, that does make some sense to you guys, because if you look at where I'm getting out of this. And this is where, like, one of the worst things you can do is fall for a cognitive bias instead of sort of trading the levels or something like that. So the cognitive bias sometimes is anchoring, which can happen around like even or round numbers. So in this particular case, it's like, oh, we've broken VWAP, we're deep in the money. Our last entry was at 270.50. Let's just put a trailing stop at 270.50. So that we'll get out at that price. It's where I happen to be in. It's a round number, so let's just trail there. But what's significant about that? Absolutely nothing. The local bottom is 270 underneath. Like, that's where a stop needs to be, at 270. So I stop out down there. It's not a losing trade because, again, you're getting out essentially better, at or better than the prices that you got in. But it's still a bad trade because it ends up holding that support, grinding higher, double holding that support, grinding higher. In this particular case, like, I don't want to rest on laurels and say, okay, fine, we had some longs in Tesla and they were okay. No, like, every cognitive bias is one that you want to work on. Anchoring is a bad one. I heard Max talk about this for trailing stops, and I've heard people talk about round numbers for them. Just make sure you have a decent methodology, because if you get lazy about a trail, what ends up happening is you can take a good trade out and get out at a bad price or for a bad reason. And that's a really, really bad reason to be out of a long trade. This little wick down here, when it eventually holds on at the 270 level multiple times. If we see 270, I think we like the long at that price, but I'm not sure Tesla gets underneath VWAP unless this market really starts to give it up.
All right, just quickly here, we have Apple. If it breaks 175, let's just get out, man. We'll take $1.40 on it. well, we're $1.40 now, sorry. It will take $1.20 if it breaks above 175, putting it obviously into the dollar club there. Look, Tesla just continues to be that monster off the open. We said that right away this morning. I was like, look what Tesla did yesterday off the open, right? And I was like expecting the same type of thing here today, and that's exactly what happened. Huge move up, huge fade back in, and now you're kind of just bouncing off VWAP and trying to take out this 273, 274 area. So, lots of actionable events here today. Like I said, we're at the highest spot we've been at all day right now, and part of that is because we reshorted Oracle on a day 2 play, and we were able to capture some profits on that one as well. Did I just get filled on something there? No, Oracle 30s was the fill that we got, but for right now, we're good, man. Hopefully this will continue to drop down. I still like Tesla, because we're talking a little bit about this. You could see Li Auto here as well, came in today, but no. It was down about 2% or so to start. Nice move off the open and just continues to climb up. NEO off that $10 level as well. Actually, NEO other way. NEO's down, Li up. So NEO right here still has the possibility of a 10 break coming through for them right now as
Although
well.
it's getting late in the day. I would like to say, if NEO breaks 10 at after 3 o'clock, I don't know if I like that. Chinese ADR is that
too late. It's almost too late.
Yeah,
now.
It's almost too late. I know we've been saying every single day, if it gets back under there, I'm shorting 995. But once you get so late in the day, I think you just start to walk away from that trade for the Chinese ADRs. It's just never been a good. I shouldn't say never. It's rarely a good look. The one exception, generally speaking, is Alibaba. If you had to pick one, Baba seems to be the one that can still give you an afternoon play. So if you see a setup in Baba, I think it's worth taking. I knew there was something I forgot on lunch money. Gosh darn it, Neil. I don't want to curse about anything, but load. Come on, chart. Thank you, Fabian, for keeping it away so you guys don't have to see this. So this happened, and when we finished the show at 11 o'clock, I start prepping for lunch money, and I was like the 100 level on Pinduoduo. So it broke 100. It failed back underneath. This had already happened. I was going to mention it, that sometimes you get a monster fail break. If you're favoring Chinese ADR to the short side, but it had already made the move into the downside. Look at the retracement on PDD off that 100 level. It breaks out above, double top breakout, can't get 50 cents, lower high, breakdown, and falls $2.50. Now, why is this important? Because Pinduoduo is making a lower high. This has been a very strong stock. But if we just failed 100 here, I'm kind of thinking we can have a little possible Kwadung action. The downside to Chinese ADRs is there's a very good chance that if the short's good, it's gapping it overnight, because that's just what they do. They're going to trade. If it's going down, it's probably going to kind of flush in the Asian markets, and then you'll be looking at 95, 96 tomorrow instead of 98 and 99. But I want this one on my radar because that is a big failed breakdown at a $100 level. I like shorts that do that. So hopefully Pinduoduo gives us an opportunity tomorrow. I don't think it will today, obviously, but failing that 100 was something we're looking for. Let's go back to the desk to handle some business.
Yeah, guys, the afternoon rundown brought to you by Trade Ideas, real-time scanning and alerting used by everybody out on our desk and by many of our traders every day. See what's moving in the moment with Trade Ideas. Check out the link in the description for 20% off.
All right, we're okay. Yeah, make sure you check those guys out. I mean, we have a lot of love for the Trade Ideas team here for sure. Okay, so we're reloaded. Whoops, not on AMC. We're reloaded on Amazon because we're about to take out the high of the day again. And this is what I said about how
the futures are down.
Yeah, I know the futures are going. Well, the futures aren't really going down, but Amazon's been strong right now here today. Obviously, our Apple's still holding out okay. But the reason why I bring this up is that we talked about this earlier. A lot of people noticing that we've changed a little bit in our style of trading, and it's just about being more patient. So instead of shorting at the 50, shorting, we just waited. And then we're going to get stopped out, right? If it takes the high of the day, then we are out. But the beauty of it all is we'll be positive on Amazon, right? Despite having lost early there, but taking all of these trades and then coming back in has given us, you know, the ability to do this again. So if you just hold on and don't take it out, especially at the especially at the 200 period, then you don't get rewarded like this. Man, again, where am I bidding here? I don't want to be too frugal. I'm just gonna take a 37 if it gives it to me. Nah, it's not going to. Okay. So there's a nice little move down there in the futures. Obviously, okay, you guys want to do shout out? All right, hit the roll call thing. This is something that I do every day at the end of the day. Shout out to Ponzi Fonzie. I got to have the roll call thing. Send me, Fabian, what the roll call digits are right there. So let's do this right now. Who's here? Let's go over to live chat so I don't miss anybody. Maybe on this show I'll shout out everybody who's members, but whatever, we'll do whatever we want. What's up, Ponzi Fonzie? 4L Taz is here, John Sproul, Noah, basketball. I mean, look, man, we're just cruising right now. Ben is here. What's up, my paisan? Chimps is here. Alberto, Julie's here. Anthony's here. Holy, guys, slow down. I can't see everybody. GE's here. Michael's here. Natalia's here. D Queen, what's up, D Queen? Harrison's here. Andrew. Yo. Wuko is here. Hog is here. J Nut. Kazam. Kablam, Jay Nutt is in the building, that's right. Jin is here, everybody's here, Mud is up in here as well. But whatever, man, we are cruising for a bruising. Thank you, everybody, for a roll call, man. That's exactly what we wanted to do. Okay, my bad. Yeah,
Kathy
okay.
Wood.
She's here. You're here too. I forgot to show you. I'll get in the chat next time. All right, there it is. Kathy Wood is here and upset. But here we go. Amazon, bang. This is what we're doing. Firing it off again because even as we create content for everybody, the trades are coming in. And these are real trades, man. These aren't CFDs. These aren't options. These are nothing. These are real-time trades. And there it is right now, Amazon with a push back in. Let's just continue to take more out. All we're doing right now is stack. And it's working out so far here today. So again, thank you for watching. Thank you for putting up with me. And there's a nice move back into 27 for us as Oracle is printing now. Let's go, Oracle. I mean, this is what I looked over and I was like, okay, I love doing these shout outs, but honestly, guys, the net is blasting. Let's just make sure we take some more out. Next fill, we'll take an out right here. Next fill on Oracle. 200 period. Let's go there. Join me, by the way. Thanks, Fabian, for that. Join me 4 to 4:30 as we will have the recap show. So thank you about so much Almog there. Best trading show. We'll take it, man. We'll take it.
Just very quickly, two things. We might have ignored Netflix, but it's right back at the low of the day. I trail out of Disney for the win, but I'm right back into it. I mean, if you get I like the trail out. I said to myself, it's going to hold on to 83.5. That's this level here. This is the nice little channel. If it breaks that channel to the upside, I'm going to get out. But the market rolled back over. So I want to jump back in, give it a chance to 83.5 because Netflix is doing this. It's just continuing on. If my thesis is that we're going to follow that trend into the downside, then I want to respect that. Netflix is absolutely tanking. It is mostly responsible for what has been a decent pullback so far today. I don't know what's going on. We didn't forget coin, Alan. We might not be, sometimes we're not in stocks, but trust me when I tell you, like Sean and I were talking during lunchtime, and we're like, oh my goodness, coin is really weak. I usually love shorting Coinbase. Let's be real about it. I love the 85, 86 level. We talked about this. If it breaks 75, I'm going to like that. I don't know what it is about this 81 that has me not taking the trades when it breaks down around here. Maybe it's, I don't know, it could be anchoring. I just like it when you short in a pop as opposed to when it's breaking down. But Coinbase down 2%, relatively weak, the same way Netflix is relatively weak. And for those that just mentioned this, you can't be a good trading show and ignore probably the things that are moving the most. 3M is absolutely tanking and taking it on the chin right now into a strong, market's near the high of the day. 3M down 5%, and it's almost at $100 even on 3M. It's a psychological level on the daily. Support's down at $98 for 3M. They're absolutely getting smoked here. And there has not been any, this is not Netflix dropping the entire move in 5 minutes on news. This is 3M taking it on the chin for the entirety of that day. So it's a nasty move to the downside. Decent bounce happening in Apple. Maybe I'll at least get a second crack at this. I did keystroke it. So if you trade, like if you send stop orders, if you're trading at Day Trade the World, a script order essentially triggers when a certain price is hit, and then you have to tell it what order to throw out. So if you throw the wrong order out, like a dark pool or something, you're not going to get to fill, or it could give you a rejection. But we're right back into 175, it looks like, on Apple. So for beneath 175, it gives me a second chance. And it broke down and gave you the $0.50, but underneath 175, I like. It is an upward trending market, but again, Apple is weak on the day. If I saw a short opportunity on Netflix, I'd take it, but I think that was at 420, oddly enough. And I want my 420 key back, Fabian.
Yeah, Fabian.
Well, you have yours.
No, I just have this one.
That's your 420 key.
No, we used to have. Oh, yeah, okay. I thought you meant the Batman one. The Batman one's my favorite.
Yeah, but that was only for. It was only
it's the
Valeria.
weed. No, weed symbol. We used to have the weed symbol.
Oh yeah, wait a
Weed
minute.
Batman, I used to call it.
Oh, I know the
Weed
one.
Batman.
I know the
Do
one.
we
you're talking
have
about.
it?
I know the one you're talking about now.
There's
There's also. Oh, so he's
okay.
telling us we don't have them anymore.
I want to put that mic.
There's
on
also
the
the
air.
beat, the one with the beat, the
Yeah, there's a
hip-hop
weed
beat.
smoker one, the beat with the little banana.
It's like the
corner.
leaf is like high out of his mind, smoking a blunt, and then
man,
there's a
where
crazy
is
beat
that
playing.
one?
It's great. I love that one.
Yeah, well,
know,
apparently they're
whatever.
all lost in wherever
that's a
they
shame.
are right now. Yeah, try to find them again for sure. I wanted, that would be kind of cool if you guys could hear like Fabian in our ear, right? And so I think he's had some pretty funny things sometimes to say. But there's Oracle, man. Let's go. Diamond hands it up right there for 75 cents. It's a good trade. It's a good trade, but again, we started the build a little bit early there, and then it came back into 113, and we talked about why we like that level. So far so good. And there's the fill to the downside. And shout out Phil, how you doing, my guy? But hopefully it keeps on coming to the downside, and we'll see if it will break lower. Now we have 30% left of this trade, so we're still in it. Looking honestly like I don't think 111 will hit, but if we get 111.50. All right, you know what? Let's just put a bid there. I mean, sometimes if you put a bid, you get filled. Otherwise, guess what? You don't. If you don't have any bids, you do not get any fills. Right there. Oh, what just happened? Okay, so Apple right now, we will just do this. Because
Another
shout out to
one.
DJ Khaled. I mean, this guy's
Another
Let's Go
one.
Golfing, right? You guys ever watch him? Right there, 170.
Oh, it just over-undered.
175. What did AMC or?
No, Apple.
Yeah, Apple. So I just did that right there. I just got out. So it just broke through the 50 period.
Well, it wicked me and I got back in.
Yeah, so that's the 50 period trade right there. So it doesn't matter. It's $1.30. I mean, like I said, right now we're just in the stack mode. I have 0 LFT. So what that means is that, let's just say you're up $200, but you were up $220 at one point, then you would have a $20 LFT. Right, and so that stands for loss from top. So those of you that are, with Day Trade the World or something like that.
It's a very day trade the world thing.
Yeah, it just means that you're. Yeah, I mean.
Well, I've literally never. We've been trading a long time. I have never heard any trader talk about it except for
loss from the
people.
top?
Except for people, because it's actual thing on your blotter.
Yeah.
And it's in riskware as well, which is like the managers see it as well. And it's part of your risk parameters. So you can get shut down because you hit your daily loss limit, but you also have an LFT limit. So let's just say, say your trader has a loss limit of 1,000, their LFT limit's going to be 1,600 at Day Trade the World. So that means if you go down $1,000, you're shut down. That's easy concept to understand. But if you go up $2,000 and pull back to 400, you're also shut down, and that's your LFT. So it's a very Day Trade the World thing. Oftentimes, you don't from risk parameters, you don't really care usually to have that kind of why shut down at $400. But because you're trading the firm's money, that's why they have something like that. So. It is a pretty important thing. I do think it matters. I just saw someone say CGC, they're taking it on the chin. We were just talking about weed, and I realized we didn't talk about the cannabis names today. So ACB is SSR and weak, down 14% underneath that dollar level. By the way, this is what happened at $1. I got to do this for myself again. What did we say in the morning? This is it's pretty ridiculous because I said, what are we doing? We're shorting pops into $1 on ACB. It went to 98 cents. Now, it's not easy to get that trade when it doesn't actually get to the buck, but you got to at least try. And I made a half-hearted effort to get that trade. So that one was a bit of a swing and a miss. It was a good idea. It was the right idea, but you still have to execute it. At the same time, CGC has tried to go and is holding VWAP. I don't know if it happens today, but if CGC can take out the top again, I think this one goes again. Down 9%, it's SSR, so today it's short sell restricted. Tomorrow it's short sell restricted because it was down 10% today. At least I'm pretty sure it was. Double check. Yeah, of course it was. It got down to $1. So the dollar level on CGC was a hold. It's now holding higher. I think tomorrow is a potential SSR breakout, but these stocks have taken it on the chin today, unfortunately. It happens. We did say these were going to go down again. Right? The whole time when CGC was going up, it's long every day, but these are going to pull back, and they're going to pull back pretty heavily. And you had the $1 bounce on CGC for support. You had the $1 resistance on ACB.
I'm just looking right now. It's how many teams? It's 2 teams make the wild card or 4 teams? Why is it so?
Don't pull up the Jays, please. I don't
No,
want
but
to
they're
talk.
tied with Seattle, and Texas just took us over. But how many? Isn't it?
I hate the Toronto
It's
Blue
only
Jays
2
right
teams.
now.
No, it's how many teams make the wild card? Why can't I think? How many teams make the wild card?
No, they have so basically 3 teams are going to make it. So you have 3 division winners
Right.
and 3 wild
Right.
card. Remember they have
and they face each other, and
Yeah,
then
they-
the winner faces this team, and then
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so right now we're tied for the last spot.
You see what's going on with Manoa?
Yeah, I saw one. Well, he's gone now for the year, right? They've and then he put a little girly man fit, didn't he? Into
He basically is refusing
yeah.
to take his assignment. He's like, I'm not pitching anymore. So I don't know
why
what.
doesn't he learn how to pitch? Then?
I don't know what's going on with that, but like to go from almost like a Cy Young player again. I
Third
don't
in the Cy Young.
third, yeah. I don't know internally what's going on with that situation, but like it's when it feels like you're giving up on your squad because you're having a bad year.
There has to be. Maybe there's some mental health issues there.
I don't know what's going on. Does he have an underlying injury we don't know about? But like you don't. Like, accept the assignment. He's like 25 years old, man. Like, you're not having a good season.
Yeah.
The season is on the line. You got to understand why you're not in the rotation. You should be getting your innings trying to get back. Because who knows? Maybe he goes and figures something out in AAA and is good for us next year.
Say something like maybe, I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just a little frustrated by it.
So much money that. So much money that he left on the table there, right? I mean, it's too bad that they didn't. Well, it's too bad for him that he didn't sign last year, but I don't think that was ever on the table. Anyways.
Well, now he's not going to get it.
Now he's not going to get anything. Well, he might not even pitch again, so we'll see. All right, so
AMC, but just
I was trying to find out. Go ahead, yeah.
No, I was just
There's
going
not
to.
much I'm in right now.
There we go. I
still
meant
in the
to
same stuff,
flip to AMC. We're saying the same things over and over again. So I jumped back in. I'll give to the local high in Apple. Give it a couple of shakes at the 150, 175. It was good the first time through. As I said, I threw the wrong order when my stop triggered, which did not fill the first time. So I am into it again. We'll see if it takes up the local high. AMC did the same thing where it wicked the bottom. And when I say the bottom, I mean VWAP, the local bottom. So it's now holding VWAP. That is enough. I'm going to get back on the bid here for more because you got to recognize there's a buyer at $8 in VWAP here. There's a reason VWAP is on pretty much everybody's chart, and that's because it can be a significant level. So when there's buying at VWAP, okay, let's just take some out. There we go. Cross the spread and get the actual fill. So that was me canceling bid, getting active, and just getting out. You got to try to ring the register. This is a counter trend trade on AMC. If it only wants to go 20 cents, then that's how far it's going. Accept what the market is giving you when it looks like this. And again, it's a move to the upside. I see we haven't talked about, did we mention NVIDIA? I don't know if we did. Did you mention NVIDIA?
Hello.
NVIDIA is one of the top stocks for me, but I did not mention. It is my number one.
So I was just talking about, just because we're talking about VWAP, NVIDIA right here, look at VWAP on NVIDIA. So this is 454 on, come to my chart for a quick second. If we can, there we go. Yeah, this is 454 at VWAP. Look where it broke in the morning. Resistance at 54, breakout at 54. Forget about that wick. It's holding 54 right now. So if NVIDIA holds this line and we bounce back higher, I think the market can be good. If NVIDIA gives up VWAP, market be screwed. Now we just want to say everything a little bit sideways. Market is in trouble if NVIDIA gives us up. So the chips have been strong. I feel like there's some hint, some of this might be with the chips that ARM is coming out tomorrow. And maybe that's why there was so much strength to the upside, because this and AMD have been pretty strong. If you look at it, the trend has been to the upside. We're going to be all over ARM tomorrow. There's not much point to talking about it today. I don't know if you're going to talk about ARM in the after show. But we'll be all over talking about ARM tomorrow. You're not going to get to trade it till like 1 o'clock tomorrow, so there's not a heck of a lot to go over that stock right now. But we'll be all over that one tomorrow.
Yeah, we're a little bit upset there because as we were talking about the useless Alek Manoah and Blue Jays, I missed this. Like and I went right over to it and I offered. I should have punched. I offered 47. It was literally at 47. Did not get filled, and then this just happened to Amazon. So Amazon giving it up again, right back down in. So I feel like, I mean, we still have enough shares on, so it's fine. Let's just punch some, we got some 13s there. So we tried to punch 14s and got 13s, so there it is. Right back to the 200 period again. We reloaded it, so that was a good little one right there on the reload. So far so good, as we'll watch out for that name coming through. Amazon on the way back in right now. Waiting for Google to get, I might as well cancel that. That's too bad. We should have been short again up there. We were waiting for 90s. I think I just canceled. Highest it went was 75. We talked about that Google short at 137 right there yesterday. And we had it yesterday, but didn't come in today. So we have to wait for that. Apple. Okay, so there it is, man. We got out of Apple, so that was a good trade at 175 flat. Saved us a little bit of money by getting out. So good one there. And then Oracle, I don't want to do this, but it's at the 200 period. We're set 65 cents of the money. I mean, a lot of traders would take that. So again, we talk about it being on the show here all the time. You got to trade you and you got to do you. So if you want to take this profit on Oracle and you're short with me, fine. I'm going to wait to see if the NASDAQ gives it up right now, down to 15,570. If that gives it up, then Oracle will be the right trade to hold. But okay, it's now time for our guest of the day. We've got Sharif at the big desk.
Yes, Sean, it's time here for Darren Collins, CEO and Director of U.S. Critical Metals. Darren, how are you this afternoon?
Very well. Thank you for having me.
Great. So just take us a little bit through an introduction into your company and how you're separated from some of the other players in the industry.
Sure. So just quickly about U.S. Critical Metals, USCM, we refer to the company as. So the company we founded really to address what is a very critical issue within the United States. And that issue in specific is really a lack of supply and a lack of resources and reserves for critical commodities spanning lithium, rare earths, specifically things like gallium, where we see the Chinese and Malaysia really restricting export, cobalt, and really commodities of these nature, where there's been a lack of investment and really a lack of discovery within the United States as a security of supply issue. So we've built out a portfolio of assets within the United States that we're advancing, looking to make mineral resource discoveries and ultimately create value for our shareholders.
How is your company managing the supply chain challenges, including some of the geopolitical issues?
So there's certainly no shortage of supply chain issues around the world. Again, we look at China with gallium, for instance, now making it that companies need to actually apply to export the commodity from that country, which is going to put a lot of industry strain into the market, semiconductors and EV and things of that nature. Thankfully within the United States, in terms of our suppliers, in terms of drilling, rig access, exploration, equipment, we haven't had a lot of issue there, but certainly on the global stage, there's been some major issues playing out.
And what technological innovations is your company using to work on improving the efficiency and the extraction process?
So we're really discovery focused at this point in time. So in terms of actual mineral processing, we haven't been utilizing a lot of those technologies quite yet. Really, our goal is to get out there, use the drill rig, drill down into formations and make discoveries. We recently completed a drill program on our lithium asset in Nevada. We put that news out this week. Markets have been responding very well to it, and we're underway on multiple other programs over our rare earth asset as well, where we're looking to identify a new source of gallium in the United States.
That's fantastic. All right, let's talk a little bit about the risks and challenges here that you face going forward. Can you outline some of those?
Well, certainly in the context of risks and challenges, we're an exploration stage company, so we live and breathe at the drill bit. So certainly geologic risk, exploration risk is a big one. But at the end of the day, we got a good balance sheet. We got a good team of very experienced explorationists in the United States. So we're mitigating those risks and also mitigating those risks with a portfolio approach. So at this point in time, we have multiple assets in the company again. And we'll continue to look to add to assets. But our flagship assets, the Clayton Valley asset, Clayton Ridge in Nevada, that's the only lithium producing place within the United States at this point in time. Also a rare earths asset called Sheep Creek in Montana, and then a cobalt asset in the good state of Idaho. So taking a portfolio approach helps to mitigate that exploration risk as well.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the future. Any future plans here with respect to expansion? Absolutely, always. We are a transactional group. My founding shareholders, myself. My background, I spent a good, half my career over almost 10 years in
corporate finance, working for various investment banks, M&A, equity financing, do the, the 80, 90 hour a week in the office. So I'm certainly not shy to doing transactions. And, we'll continue to look to build and expand our portfolio as we advance the company, again, taking that portfolio approach and, really sourcing unique assets with great exploration potential within the United States.
For investors who want to get involved in the company, they always want to know what their risk is. So what can you tell us about the regulatory landscape right now, and if there are any challenges or any benefits right now with that?
Well, I think you're going to start to see it open up a little bit more as these issues become more to the forefront, and those issues being, a lack of supply, resources and reserves within the United States, and the realization of governments and, individuals that these commodities are critical to reaching the, objectives of the country, whether that's electrification, national security, national defense. So I think you're going to start to see the regulatory environment open up a little bit in the United States in the context of permitting and the like. The best example of that was, with Thacker Pass, which is a very large lithium deposit in Nevada that's being advanced through to construction, where essentially the courts within the state said that this is a matter for the Bureau of Land Management and not the courts when, some litigation issues came up. So I think you're starting to see a movement towards, again, the realization that there really needs to be more investment and more progress in terms of developing these industries within the United States. And, you look at things like the Inflation Reduction Act, a lot of that was, very much geared towards creating these industries. So I think we're going to see that risk start to mitigate over time, but it's definitively a risk and one that's historically been an issue for these companies.
All right, Darren. Last but not least here, for investors who want to get involved with your stock, I see that you're on the Canadian Venture Exchange as well as the OTC markets. Any comment on that? Any plans to expand?
We're always looking at, options to create value for our shareholders. So as we, develop out the business, upgrading our U.S. listing would be, very much an option. I'm on the board of a company, just did a NASDAQ listing, so I'm quite familiar with the people there and, how that process works. So, it's very much a U.S. focused company. I would see an upgrade of that listing, as we, advance the story and look to have some discoveries and add some scale to the business. Don't want to do it too early, but it's on the horizon. Stock is up about 24% today. Darren, it was great talking to you, and I wish you the best going forward. Thank you very much for your time. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you very much there, Darren. And I think one of the things we love about bringing guests on here is, obviously we're going to talk about a lot of things that are moving a heck of a lot, but and talking about big cap tech, that's going to be the focus in the NASDAQ and in the trading. So we're not always going to get to commodities, which I know a lot of people are interested in. So, instead of trying to pretend like we're the experts of things, we try to bring people that'll educate you guys and give you some opportunities out there. As that was happening, there was a pullback in the market. So, the NASDAQ is still up, but it's trending to the downside. Oops, that's my daily chart. Nobody cares about a daily chart on a day trading show. Or maybe you do. You do care for levels there. But Disney, I got trailed out of my short up at 83.9. And when I got trailed out of it, I'm like, no, the market's still weak and Netflix is still at that low of the day. Netflix just broke the low of the day. So I jumped back into it, took some out. I think Disney can get headed down into its low. Netflix is now down 5% and still breaking lower. So that broke support at the bottom. I elected to roll back into the Disney short thinking I just can't see any way that it's not going to come down, but the entire market is flushing. Affirm's still working. The only short that's giving me, the three shorts on, the one that's not doing the right thing, or not going down, I shouldn't call right or wrong, is AMC is still holding VWAP. So, chalk it up to this being a trend to the upside and buy support at $8. This is one to be at least a little bit concerned about. I don't want this getting back to the high of the day. I'm going to get out of it if it breaks about 8.15 in here. That was the second channel break into the downside. So if we get above 8.15, I will just give up AMC. Anything else short is working right now that I can see. With the exception of AMC holding into this VWAP. So we'll have to take the profit on that one as it goes to the downside. I like Affirm for the low of the day here. It's about to tag that bottom. I'm going to hold through the low. I thought maybe we get a VWAP reload, but I'm going to hold through the low and just look to trail this. Affirm could be finally giving this one up to the downside. It looks like we're getting a bit of an afternoon flush in these markets. And you know what? I keep meaning to hit this other one because we have this. But I wanted to save it till the market actually went red. But I like these ones where it's like market rolls over, everything turns red. The market is rolling over even if the NASDAQ hasn't turned red yet.
We're giving the trades, and I mean, look at Amazon. I mean, absolutely collapsing all over itself right now. So we are infinitely up right now on the day, better than we were 20 minutes ago. So yeah, obviously this tank is really helping us out right now. We're about to get another Dollar Club member. There's been like 2 or 3 today. And the only thing was, I got stopped out there on Apple, but that was a $1.20 winner.
And it's even flushes too.
Yeah, now it's flushing even more right now on that trade. So, but you know, I always say this, like you guys can see, like this is just a good trade right there. I mean, Amazon short off those levels. I'm just pissed off because we didn't get the reload there, and I meant to get it. And honestly, I just canceled my 47 offer. Like, it's just ridiculous. So a little bit upset. You're always going to be frustrated a little bit sometimes with your fills and missed opportunities and whatnot. But like I said, yesterday we had our best day of the month. Today we're having our second best day of the month. So, and you know, I'm not just saying that. That's what my net's doing. And it's just a matter of making sure that I tell everybody that because I'm also explaining to you when I get run over, and that happens all the time. It happens all the time, but didn't happen yet here. We took a hit on, it was the other day, wasn't it? On someone said, oh, I hope Sean makes money on Apple today or whatever it was. And yeah, well, today, different story, but it was just like, sometimes your ideas aren't going to work. And I remember, no, it wasn't this day. It was the day when we defended 180. It was right here. So it was the 11th. And then someone just tweeted at me, is like, seems like you never lose. And I was like, no. We lose, man, and we lose a lot. But right there, 180, and we talked about this, and we even tweeted this day out right there when it didn't hold 180, and it dropped to the downside. But what we've been doing now is, like, we had 180 written down on our sticky note, right? And the thing, not today, but that day. And I want to try to support those plays, right? Like, if that's going to come on the sticky note, I want to take it. But the problem is that came in the pre-market. So I went home and I told my wife, and she's amazing that she's able to. The thing is, I met my wife trading, so she knows about it. And it's just like, I told her about, you know, if I get filled on the pre-market on some of these levels, then it's never that good. So, you know, talking some things out like that and making sure. And we had Obi on the show yesterday. We talked about some different strategies that we had there yesterday, and then even today, right? It's like what we wanted was a 455 short on NVIDIA. Despite this whole move happening right now, this is my #1 stock today, NVIDIA, and it's one trade. And again, it's just taking $1 there, taking 350, and then taking 4, and then we did have 6 once it broke 450, went to 449. It actually touched 448, giving us $7. But again, just one good trade. Right, one of the only trading books I've ever read. And I know I shouldn't be proud of that, but Reminiscence of a Stock Operator and one good trade. You know, because that's what it's about. You know, and Tiger Woods actually said something. I saw a tweet of him, or it was an Instagram or something. It might have been an old one, and it was actually one of my and I just read it yesterday or today. It was actually a really good thing that made me think about it. And he said, "Stop watching YouTube videos. Go out and hit some balls." You know, and that's the thing. It's like you can watch everybody you want. You could watch me trade, Neil trade, anybody you want trade. You could read all the books in the world, okay? But if you don't have the discipline and you don't have the patience, you don't have the strategy that works for you, then it's quite simply put, not going to work. So, you know, get ideas from other people. That's fantastic, but you got to be able to implement them, and it's got to fit your style of trading. So when I saw that from Tiger, I was like, okay, you know, and it's kind of the same thing about Jordan, right? It's like missed more shots than he made, things like that. And it goes to putting about maybe either trading lower share size or trading.
Well, it comes down to practice.
And that's what it was.
All he's saying is practice.
Either practice or lower your share size and practice more. I'm never going to go into sim mode, but go into sim mode.
I mean, if you look at like Michael Jordan, nobody practiced more than him. And what is practice? It's doing the things you will do in a game with no stakes, right? That's what Tiger probably. I don't know if this is true, but I'm going to make an assumption that Tiger probably hit more balls at the range than everybody else. We know that about Jordan. We know that about Kobe. We know that about Curry, probably exactly the same way. Anybody that knows I'm a big baseball guy. Just having everyone knows who Manny. If you know baseball, you know Manny Ramirez. That guy's work ethic in terms of knowing his swing, and there's a reason why he was a good hitter. It is insane how well this guy knew his own swing and how much work he would put in the cages. And it's something that you do realize. Like, I've seen a million YouTube videos on hitting, and I know a lot about hitting myself because I'm a baseball guy. But trust me, if you're not actually working on your swing constantly, then it's not going to do anything for you. And in trading, and that is practice as well. But the thing to also consider is you've got to understand that when you are trading, two people can have the exact same idea and get in at the exact same time. No one's going to execute it exactly the same. So when we talk about trading ideas, it's about where you're getting in, where you're getting out. What's the reason you're getting in? What's the reason you're getting out? That's what a trade is, and you just want to make sure you're making enough of those in terms of positive decisions so that you can have yourself, hopefully, a long career. I wasn't going to answer this for you in the chat, but someone in the chat was asking, did Marissa trade too? Like, I know the answer to that, but I don't want to speak for her. She did trade before as well, but I didn't want to.
She traded, and the thing is that I kind of, came on the scene when Day Trade the World was just a wee little baby, and we did have an office. I traveled around the world opening up offices and training traders around the whole world, and that's sort of what sparked the idea behind this show. So this was maybe 15 years ago. We had an office up north, and I was talking again to lots of traders and on what we had IRC back in the day. It's still being used right now as well for internal relay chat there on all the offices we get together. And we just started chatting, and the rest is history on that one. But yeah, like I said, I've been traveling. Like, I've been to Singapore. Shout out to Nimit if he's watching this, train traders there. Russia, through Budapest, all through Canada, and I'm definitely missing some other places as well. But okay, so, I want to talk about Amazon because, again, like, as this name fell through, we got some 144s, and we're almost out. So I literally have 10% left. We got that fill. We did not get this one, but we got a great fill down there, almost $1 off that 50 fill down into 70s. So that was the move down. So that's what that was there on the way back in. AMC is bouncing, but again, we took a lot out there on VWAP. We talked about that, 4 outs there for AMC. Might get in, might get out on that one again.
What happened to the
Intel's still a #1 stock here
board.
for us today, or for me today, but it's not. Look, I want to get into more shares of something. It's just
come to me for a quick second.
Sure, yeah.
Axla, whose job was it to say $1 on Axla? You got to put the trades on, obviously. I love this thing for a breakout this morning. Like, the break of yesterday's high, I'm like, I'm going to take at least multiple swings at that. I'm always going to have a stop out. Like, if we risk like 10 cents on the dollar stock and it can go to 2, like, that's what I was looking for. But there's a different trade now forming on this, which would be just simply the dollar bounce. Now, I didn't have a level 2 up, so I can't tell you if this wick is real, but it looks pretty real to me, because it bounced off of 1 at 103, kind of a double bottom, but not really. And then you had this little, what looks like a liquidity grab underneath, right at the 1. I'm going to go for this one in front of $1. If it breaks $1, I would get out of it. So AXLA, this is a bit of a day, I don't want to call it a day 7 play. I'm not going to count these all up. But it went from 10 cents. It is continuing to break out. If it holds $1, look for some continuation, but if this is a $1 fail tomorrow, this is probably a short. If this move today, like the fail breakout at the top, culminates in gapping underneath the buck, I think it's probably a short. Gonna watch out for this Disney trade that we jumped into. We're right back at that low of the day. Make a decision at support levels, but it's getting down into that low of the day. Probably makes some sense to rest a bit on the low, so that's what I'm gonna do. Just in front of today's low on Disney. Disney was at the high of the day breaking out, and then all of a sudden Netflix is now at 411. I don't know. We're not going to get to 200 on Netflix today. I mean, we're probably not going to get to 400 on Netflix today, but if we get to 400 on Netflix tomorrow, I just want everyone to realize here, just remember that this got said. This is 400, August bottom. You've had all kinds of consolidation here. I'm going to be trading off of this level. I think I probably want to take it for a bounce first. And if we break like 99s, it's probably worth a short underneath that on Netflix. That is a wild move to the downside. You can call it overstated based on the news, but it is what it is. And Netflix is dying. My play was to play sympathy to the downside on Disney, which has been trending down anyways. We just put that in. It just hit that low of the day, 83.16. We just grabbed the fill. So we're short here. We shorted back in there at 83.5, and it travels top to bottom. Sometimes it's not that complicated. Like, it's at resistance when the market tanks, you short it, and it goes right down into the lows. I blame Netflix for this, man. Disney was going to break out. I own Disney shares in my long term, so Disney was going to break out until this Netflix thing. It was going to break 84, was going to get to 85 today, I swear it. Sharif.
That's okay. Faraday futures, guys, up 32.75%, right above that $5 area, got to 528, still maintaining its strength on the day. Faraday futures.
Yeah, position board keeps on flashing back and forth. I don't know, but it's okay. We're there. Yeah, we talked about that a little bit on the midday show, the Faraday Faraday future, and again, just a
Randy.
just a EV name moving around again, of course.
Man, that chart's nasty.
I was very. Yeah, funny. Again, we don't trade the same share sizes, but Dees was like, oh, you guys should just be getting in there and buying all the Tesla you can. I don't know if that's true. I kind of like, we had thought about NVIDIA going to the downside here today. And, the thing about that is you're right at VWAP again and trying to break lower. So I'm not short everything, as you can see. I'm short AMC, short Amazon, short Oracle. So it's fine, but this is probably a good breakdown again against the 50 period here. 450, I mean, do we want to do it? We could probably do it right now. Future breaking, this could be a really good trade against that level right there. So what is that? I'm just trying to think about how many shares. 454, yeah, we're down a little bit too far. Thinking about a bump, like if we can get a bump into 454 right there, okay, whatever, downside move now in the market, so that's okay. It broke VWAP there. I was really considering that VWAP break on NVIDIA. Let's go over to its brethren here, and find out what's going on with AMD. Okay, so that's right at VWAP as well, both up 2%. This one also has a good breaking opportunity there. Look at it just follow this 50 period. It's like, so I would rather, again, this is, you could short it, but patience has really worked. And I know we talked about LFT, but we've made not a lot, but we made more money here in the last little while. And it's by being patient and waiting for certain things to happen. And we almost got it again. It's, again, so stupid that we don't have this, but almost had this again just by being patient. And so we still have it, but as it continues to go down, I feel like we want it. We want to let this work. We still have a monster trade brewing here, especially if this breaks. That's 1190. Okay, I was sitting at 1160, so okay, glad we didn't miss that. But maybe we take a fill there if it comes in and then wait for a little bit lower. And I said this is a possible monster trade because if you break this level, I think you can get it down into 111, which is where we've bounced.
Is that a flat bottom break?
It's kind of, but it hasn't been there for that long.
Okay, not really.
It's just a 1 minute chart, right? So if you're gonna look for like a real flat bottom, probably a 20 minute or something, and there's really nothing there.
Oh, but it's that level from yesterday in the afternoon.
Well, it's still bouncing off 112.
But here's something. I just saw this when I was going through my charts, going through some of the names that are strong and weak. Down 3%. We haven't traded CCL in a minute, and that's probably been weeks since we've done so. The airlines were bad today. It was both Save, Spirit Airlines, and American Airlines, both revised and pretty nasty to the downside. But CCL off of look, a 15 break is a round number, 1490 is a local bottom. So what I'm seeing here is if this breaks 1490, I want short and I'll give it to 15 back on the way. And on the daily chart, that looks like a flat bottom break to me. We got 50 minutes to go. It's got 5 cents to get to the downside. I don't see a reason not to look for this for the breakdown. I just saw Peloton's tanking. Sign me up, usually. Oh, wait, Peloton's at $5. Ugh. The problem with stocks like this is they have load. The problem with stocks like Peloton is if you're chasing a move to the downside, there we go. I know, I'm like willing the chart to load up there. You're chasing a move to the downside, you're gonna get to some big support levels when it's down around an even dollar like a 5, And then I was reminded that Peloton, remember when Peloton got crushed off 7? It still hasn't really filled in that gap. So it needs to break 5 even, and even then, like 470 is that low. So it looks really good for a short, maybe breaking down $5. I just don't see the velocity to get to the downside today. Still only looking for shorts. CCL breaks down, I want it. Bito in the chat saying, what do you guys think about shorting Airbnb? Well, let's check. I mean, we just talked about CCL looking very weak. The airlines look pretty bad the last couple of days, at least a couple of the airlines. So Airbnb, again, will the chart to load? I should just pull up my trade ideas chart first for you guys. Yeah, I can't necessarily, as far as an entry, I understand what you're saying with the short. This is the same logic, just immediately off the bat, same logic as Pinduoduo failing 100. You have failed a top-end break here. Tried to break out the top, great move yesterday, breaking out 148, as you can see, failed 150, come right back and reject 148 for a classic head and shoulders. So that's generally where you're thinking trend short for at least a couple of days, back into 140. So that's what makes sense to me on Airbnb. A local short would be off 146. This sucks because if you look at that same analysis, I'd say half an hour ago, 146 short looks really good, but I wasn't watching Airbnb today. I was watching Disney. So that's why I'm in Disney, but that's just as good for a lot of reasons, and I think you can look for a continuation of that move to the downside tomorrow. But as far as chasing it down here at 145, not really for me. Like Airbnb, that's not a stock that I would want to chase. That's a stock you want in off that resistance where you can really work in off 146.
Oh, okay. All right, we just got. I put a bid there at 1207, and then I don't know, someone smacked it down to 12s there for Oracle. So it's 75 cents. We'll take it. I'm just sitting here watching it, basically barcode. Right now, we just talked about wanting to get it down there. Oh, actually, that canceled my bids for some reason, so let's just put another one. I don't know if we'll get it. Let's put a bid in the 80s there if it comes in. We hit 81 time there. That's when we got that great Amazon fill. But after that, you know, it hasn't been there. So we just took a 12. Now we only have 20% left. We just took a 1207 fill there. Just wanted to make sure that everybody was aware right now again. Okay, so... Oh, yeah, shout out to Austin who went short on Intel. I think that's a good play.
Speaking of which, like Intel, like if ARM is kind of it's weird because it's an IPO, but it's kind of a legacy type name. Like this is not a growth company. This is a very well established, almost legacy semiconductor name. So if it were to crash tomorrow, ARM, I was about to mention, I was going to shout out someone in the chat there. I think it was Ben Ruggiano, and I was going to go over IWM. But just saying, if ARM crashes tomorrow, watch out. I'd say watch out Qualcomm. I'd say watch out Intel. I'd say watch out Micron. There's just a lot of names in there that have been relatively strong that I would be very cautious with. And I'm saying if we get some ridiculous valuation tomorrow on ARM and it fails, watch out for that. Have a look at IWM. Ben in the chat was mentioning this. Look, the Russell has been on the precipice of absolutely failing the last few weeks here underneath 182. And if that starts to happen, that's not very good for the market, but this could be like the first sign that it's cracking downside, might have just been today. So great shout out there. You're always looking for confluence for moves to the downside, which we've been favoring shorts. The Russell crapping all over itself, quite frankly, might be one. So that is headed to the downside. That's making me like shorts today and tomorrow even better. I know obviously liking shorts is not a good thing, but hey, the market's trending to the downside in a general sense, at least recently. So let's look to see if that continues. IWM looking nasty. Market is heading right back into these lows. I keep looking over and seeing Netflix still falling. It's looking nasty. Tesla, I'm not in it, or you're not in it. But we like to talk Tesla because everybody's interested in Tesla. I was long this level before, but I don't know that I like it now, that 270. The NASDAQ could be headed red here. I don't think this is the time to step on the bid. I think this is the time to look for short entries. So I do like CCL. That's the one I'm looking for the breakdown on, but I don't know if I'd be testing this Tesla for the longs. Some days I'd be doing it, not today. I'm not going to fight the trend. The trend right now is the market falling.
Yep, and we're trying to look for something else to get involved with. Moderna's at the lows again. That could be. So, I mean, I'm looking to try to get some longs.
Maybe
to be honest with
you want a
right
long?
now.
Tesla's at support.
Maybe I'll buy Tesla then because yeah. So we're going to talk about this on the and join me tonight as we have Trader Danielle coming through for options right there. We just retweeted it right now. Where is it? Right here. Thanks, Ramin, for this. Right there. Trader Danielle coming at 4 p.m. So join me for Trader Recap. We'll talk all about some options plays and some different names that she's looking at. So that should be exciting. But we took it off 15.4 right there. We had the TQs this morning right off that level. Nice upside move. I was kind of surprised that we didn't go another 50 or 60 handles back up to the top, and we kind of stopped right here at 15.6. So nice 200 handle move before falling back down again. So, you know, the CPI trade was a decent one there this morning, as that was good. Yeah, Adam, what's up? You can go SQQ as well, whatever fits your bill on that one. Good outs for me there on AMC. Would like to. What else you guys want to look at, man? Netflix long. Okay, people just talking about that. We can go back into it.
It's
411.
It's trying, but like it's not
back
really.
To 420.
It did get back to 420. It just came all the way back down.
What?
It's getting its. It's getting its butt kicked.
Again, another one. I was like, gonna wait for this 420, and then was at 411. I was like, I must have thought about something else there. But yeah, that was gonna be a good short level because we came into rate that this is what I was looking at before, but it looks like it did wick to 422 almost. So I probably would have got stopped out if I was in this trade. So don't feel so bad about it anymore. But yeah, 411. Wow, that's a good one there for Netflix.
I know I'd be out.
You guys are right about that.
Because if I short Netflix at 420, I'm looking for it to hold 421 in that situation.
For sure.
Like everyone has to have their own style. Like you got to know your style. Me, I'm pretty much never trading a level like that and giving it $2. Even though you kind of can, I feel as if I'm giving $2 in a $400 stock, I'm doing it at the open, not at the middle of the day. It's just my style. I want to acknowledge Workhorse here for a second because if I'm slapping fails on myself, not shorting Workhorse has to be one of them. Was literally joking about how weak this thing was and just short every 10 cents on it. Okay, well, fail 90, fail 80, fail 70. It's hilarious. And it's not funny for anyone that's long. I don't mean to be glib about it, but every 10 cents, it just flushes another 10 to the downside. What goes up must come down, but apparently not NVIDIA, I don't think. So AMC, it was a good short. I feel like the buyers are taking control of this one above VWAP. I have my trail. I'm getting out at 815. We talked about this one as a decent short off of the 20 to 25 area into VWAP. 796 was the best fill I could get, and now it's headed back to upside. Took some more out at 8. It looks like the buyers are in control of AMC. I wouldn't put it past this that it could make a run to the high of the day. A lot of times when this happens on a squeeze name, it holds VWAP, holds support. It makes a late day push. There's still some time for that to happen for anybody out there. Chris J, AMC inverse the market. Sometimes you'll see this. Like when squeeze names will go up at times when the market generally is going to the downside. You'll see me do it all the time. When the market's trending down, the afternoon show, look for longs in some of the squeeze names. A lot of them just happen to look like crap today. AMC being a notable example to a little bit. Joe Werner, Virgin Galactic is at all-time lows. Is that $1? Okay, so mark my words. This is going to be probably a bad thing for me to say, but Virgin Galactic at $1, I think that's worth a very good shot. This is getting there. You're already at 190. This stock is, if it gets to $1, I think just taking the multiple shots at this one off the long is worth it. Like these spec plays that are semi-popular, where people get interested in them. And I said this about Mullen at 20 cents. This could be one. It's not there just yet, but it failed $2. I want to think short underneath 2 tomorrow, but if we see $1 on Virgin Galactic, I want to go long that stock off $1. Like a 101 long, a 105 long, 110, all that good stuff. But AMC is the one you want to be watching if you're looking at a meme stock today.
I put the wrong, okay, I have to pay up a little bit. I put the wrong price. I put the wrong price in for Netflix, but that's okay. Okay, so first of all, Amazon, we're going to get out if it breaks right here. For Amazon, that's 144.15 as the market looks like it's trying to go back up. And I do have a new position, and it sucks because I I put the wrong price, or else we would have way more shares and a much better price. I put a 1 in front of it. I put $1,400 to pay for this Netflix long. But there it is. And it's too bad that we were just talking there because and now my line is gone. I put a line right here that I was going to go long on a break of 25. Oops, that's the wrong line to begin with. No, that should be the right, this way. What's going on? There it is, right here. I like this little break right there. And so we got it at 40s, but I don't know what the spread would have been. I feel like we would have had a little bit better than this for sure. So let's see if we can get a long back into here, if it comes back into the 30s or so. But again, Netflix, let's go. I mean, I was going to hold this against this 411 bottom, so let's just do that. Right now, here's a position. You guys wanted something, so we're here. We just took we took an out somewhere. Oh yeah, we took an out on Oracle right here at 30. So I just get the feel, and I said, it looks like we're probably going long down there, right? And so we take it out there on Oracle at 112.07. You saw that. We take another out right here as it breaks through 30. These are all good wins, man. Like we're short Oracle right now at 75. We take it out at 30. Let's see. Now we're 40 cents in the money. Again, we're just trying to stack it up, but we don't have as many shares as we wanted on that because I was like, what? How come I don't have the long there? And I looked over and I put $1,000 more on the trade there. I put a bid at 1,400.
Which rejects.
No, it didn't even reject. It just sat in there. It didn't fill.
But it should reject.
It should
the order.
reject, but it didn't.
Just so you guys know, like there's actually like at Day Trade the World, there is a curb in the system that prevents you from crossing the market too far.
Yeah.
And
That's why it didn't fill.
Yeah, it should not fill in that situation.
So by not filling is essentially
not that you want to rely on that, but it should not fill if you cross the market too far to avoid fat fingers. As the market's bouncing here, I've tightened up my trail stop. So we're pretty fortunate to have Disney breaking the low of the day, even though the market's bouncing, even though Netflix is bouncing. But my entire litmus for why I was short Disney was because Netflix made that move to the downside. So if it holds a low, I think this is a reversal on Disney. It's been a good journey to the downside, but maybe the journey to the center of the earth or to, I don't even know if that's a Netflix or a Disney property. I have no idea. But that journey could be over. You're double bottom on it. Netflix has finally made a bottom. The futures have made a low. If we do curl here, 83.15 was the previous low of the day down here. If we get back above that, I want to get out. And I'm looking at a flip long on this name as well. And even a firm down here looks like it could be one. Like you're wicking the low of the day. Sometimes you got to accept the fact that you're going top to bottom and it's holding the low. The NASDAQ doesn't seem to want to go any further to the downside. The ES doesn't seem to want 4,500. So we need to get out of these at the bottom. For me, that just means trailing stop. So I'm going to trail out of a firm. We'll give it a little bit more room. I don't have a reason to reverse this trade. I'll give it to the 50 level. But Disney, to me, is a reverse off of this low. It was cruising before the Netflix thing. So if Netflix bounces, I want the long back through this previous low of day. So it's be a failed break of the low. Get out of the short and into the long.
Man, it's too bad. Too bad. Okay, so even though Amazon, we're starting to get, oopsies, now I have this line drawing everywhere. I meant to remove that. All right, so Amazon does fail off that. Okay, so nice push back down into some of these lows again. Let's see if we can get that one more time. Trying to put that into the dollar club there. Just so you guys are wondering what I'm doing exactly, we're $1 in the money. Well, we just were, I think, about $1 in the money here on this Netflix trade, which is 1-to-1. We were going, here it goes. We were going to give this down to 411 anyways, right? And so right down into there, it took this level, we went long, and there it is right now. So now we are finally, if you want to take it, go ahead. It's $1 now for that. So we've had now $4 club members today. Let's see if we can get another one here. Well, we could if we just took it, but we're not going to take it. Let's see if it can go back up to the upside against this 411. So that's where the stop is. Hopefully we get some more when it comes back down. I'm still a little bit, someone said, oh, Sean's okay from, getting liquidated on his house because I didn't get filled. But imagine I did. I'd have more shares now, $1 more shares.
But it just hits the offer.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so I just would have got more shares. I'm surprised I didn't get filled.
You can't actually, ever since Reg NMS, you can't cross the market and get a bad fill. It's going to execute at the offer. Back in the day, you could make that mistake. And that's, it was much more, we've been around long enough before Reg NMS.
Jesus.
If you crossed and had a bad print, that gateway might fill you outside of the market, and it would be nasty. There was actually there was actually a strategy, I don't know if it was a trade more than a gimmick, where you would, if a stock was going absolutely crazy for whatever reason, you could just pick a gateway and sit outside of the market, and maybe somebody would screw up, and every now and then you'd get like an absolute money fill. But those days are all gone because of Reg NMS. They take all of the fun out of the market sometimes with these rules that are meant to keep order. Because that ish was gold. Every now and then you get some idiot that crosses the market. And penny stocks, I used to love it because you get great fills every now and then. One person gets liquidated or just makes a keystroke, and you're just in the money nicely. So the reversal did happen on Disney. I'm not trailed out of a firm just yet, but the market is now bouncing pretty nicely. Disney was cruising before this Netflix thing. So out of the short into the long. In 4 minutes, we're going to get the early look on the imbalances. I think it was there's something happening on Enbridge today or something. So when the imbalances come out, we'll be able to give you the early look. I think we're expecting to see, I want to say it's a big buy on Enbridge because of the offering that they just had. So anyways, you might see a big number for Enbridge. That's because there's an action happening for them with regards to the, they picked up 3 like pipelines and they issued, and so there's going to be an index action for them today on ENB. That's dual listed, by the way.
Not taking out more shares here on, or not taking out anything here on Netflix might be a situation. Well, right now, let's just see what happens, because the market's at VWAP, so it's giving me the feels that we should take $1.70 or $1.50, sorry, on this trade there for Netflix. Let's see if it can go, right? I mean, what is the early look we're getting in a couple minutes? So we'll have a look on that one.
Well, we can look at the, actually.
Yeah, we can actually look at what's happening right here.
Gotta remember
buy on HPQ is decent. That should give us a decent number there. A sell on Bristol Myers, that's a $60 name. A buy on AMC.
Whoa, okay.
That's a good out for me on AMC there, by the way. We got some more out at 10. I feel like that was a good one. Yeah, so buys and sells all around. It's going to be a nothing number. It's too bad. All these buys and sells will just counteract.
Yeah, Palantir is a sell. That's interesting.
There's just nothing on there. I mean, Juniper being a bid. I mean, all these are $30, $40 names. So nothing really on here that's BP today.
Like
that's
HPQ
40.
would be the one that maybe.
Yeah. All right, so right now not much is happening. Maybe we're okay on this long there for Netflix as it's just come back. Well, not come back in a little bit. It was just at 414. Now it's pulling back. So, okay, it's fine. We'll just wait for it, see what happens on that one as maybe the market pulls back. But I think we did really good by getting out of AMC, man. We talked about that when it was down here at VWAP. And, again, cover into 8, cover into 8, cover again at 99, cover there when we take the 200 period. Now we have like less than 5% left of this position. So, so far so good on that cover. And the newest position that we have in is Netflix. We were thinking about this fill there on NVIDIA, remember? We didn't take it, which is good because our bias was to the short side on this name. What I want to go for was, I want to talk about this because this is we're going to actually talk about this on the after show, the recap show I should keep saying. And it was this right here. And it was about how the number one performing stock, and join me as we will talk about this on the recap show. Right now, year to date in the Dow Jones, number one is Salesforce, up 67% this year. Number two is Intel, up 50%. So you can see 3M still down 6%, Chevron, so some of the industrials still down, Microsoft up 40%, but there is room to go here. By the way, we have Daniel Shea coming on, and we have Adobe earnings tomorrow. So I'm going to be asking her all about what kind of a play might be appropriate. So join me again. What kind of a play might be is appropriate, I should say, if you're looking for Adobe. So
you know why that matters for Adobe? Because Adobe is a perfect example of a stock that for a lot of people, I don't want to say everybody, for a lot of people, options are the only way you're going to play it. Like even for day traders, like we're not really usually day trading. It's just difficult. We talked about this with Amazon when it was a $2,500 stock. When it gets over 500, like sure, Tesla at 500 is a pretty good stock to trade. NVIDIA, you can still trade it because liquidity is different. Adobe, liquidity is crap. Quite frankly, and it's been a huge run to the upside. You just saw what happened to Oracle as an idea of what could. I'm not saying it's going to go down, but when you're priced to perfection like this, Oracle got doomed. If Adobe would do the same, maybe you get a shot at this thing back at the 500 level. But it should be good to have Daniel Shea on for sure. I just want to go back over. There are some names that are moving to the upside. I mentioned Axla was making a move. There's this penny stock, AVTX. I just want to go over when a stock is up 100%, it gets people excited. And then you look at the daily chart, and then you want to make sure everyone calms down a little bit here. The early look is 354 million to the buy side. Just to give you guys an idea, just go over this AVTX here. It is breaking out. It is up 100%, but it's a 12-cent stock getting to resistance at 25. So everything, like remember, like levels matter. If this can clear out 25, I think it's worth looking at tomorrow. This is a day 2 play, so day 3. When you go 10 cents to 25 cents, maybe you go to 40, 50 the next day. It's worth a look tomorrow. I'm not going to be touching that one. Buy imbalance, maybe that helps Disney, maybe it doesn't. I really don't know. But we got out at the bottom and reversed it. Looks like it's already stalling at the quarter mark. Again, the market's okay, bouncing, but it's not exactly flying to the upside, the overall market. But we are getting a nice bounce here. Apple looking back above 175. What's Tesla doing? Are we going to regret not going to Tesla, going to Disney instead? Whoops, that's TSLQ. We don't trade that one. That's that triple leverage or double. I think it's 2x leveraged, I think, TSLQ. So Tesla off 270. I guess it was pretty good. I elected Disney. Maybe we'll regret that decision. But Tesla showing some signs of strength. That 270 is a good level after all. Remember what I said about having bad trailing stops. Make sure you have trailing stops at key price levels, or just put like a percentage trail on something like that. But market headed back up. I do like the exit point on Disney, but I got to think about the exit point on Affirm because that is starting to come back to the upside. If we get to 50s, I'm all out of Affirm. I covered AMC, said we'd trail it to 80, like 815 here. Too much strength off VWAP, so I'm out of that trade. $8 looks like it was a solid long. So we had this conversation. Day trading is about it's about executing trades, and the price is your friend. In the midday show, someone was saying they were going long at $8, and I'm like, yeah, well, we're short in the 20s. Both of us were short in the 20s, and people joked about that being 2 separate trades. I'm like, well, we could both win that trade. Okay, so the short worked and won, and that, well, I don't know who it was, and I apologize for forgetting their name. I saw them for a couple seconds in the chat. An $8 long worked as well. So if you have a good price, that's all that really does matter. So good execution for whomever it was, long off 8. Great looking trade. We're going to the desk for Sharif.
Yep.
Play Starfield with Game Pass. That looks like a good game.
To buy trade Forex pairs like the Euro USD with spreads as low as 0.8 pips and 0 commissions at IG. Terms and conditions apply. Make sure to check those out. Before I send it back to the boys, Faraday Futures, the EV at day's highs, 528.
Of course Faraday's at day's highs. Like, oh my goodness. We joke about these ones sometimes, but really, sometimes they absolutely fly. I know the midday guys were talking about it. Max, I want to say, I think he had a 450 break, so I think he had a 450 break. He was at least talking about a 450 break, so if it's up at 5, that looks like it was really good. I didn't trade Faraday today. Disney reversal just got to local high, so it makes the break. Were we making a decision on the reversal long at 83.35? Because that was this bottom here, that was this consolidation there, so that's the first place that I would expect to move up to stop. So we get that out there. You got to ring the register somewhere. I do like that level. FFI, I don't know if it's going to continue to go higher. I'll give a peek at it. Let's respect a strong stock breaking the top 38%. Wow, where are we going here? This could get to $6 when you look at it. It's just another reverse split, fall down, and then shorts have to cover, and eventually it gets a relief rally. That's the play. I think you had to have the 450 break. That's the one, man. Like, that looks fantastic. This 450 break. Breakout yesterday's top. Keep on going. I think $6 is your next stop there, where you might have a little bit of resistance on that. So file that one away for tomorrow. Faraday Futures. It's just a pure momentum play. The stock reverse splits for a reason, right? So I wouldn't get wrapped up in thinking these guys are going to go to the moon, although I'm pretty sure I heard someone say something about them delivering a vehicle for the first time. So that would be a legitimate catalyst. Not joking about delivering a couple of vehicles. That's not that impressive in general, but it is a pretty good catalyst for a squeeze, which is what you're seeing here.
Yeah, the market, so that Netflix trade obviously is only 30 cents in the money now, but look at this. We got out of we got out of Amazon and we did not reload the short. I don't want to take it. We're above the 50-period moving average. We're above VWAP here in the futures, and that's why I'm pretty disappointed with this trade because we talked about 414. Maybe we'll get it out if it goes back up there, but you know the futures made this move and Netflix didn't do anything. So that's why I'm disappointed right now in this Netflix move. I thought with the futures move up, this would have kept going, and it kind of just stopped while the futures were still going. So not a positive look there for the futures right now, and Netflix is sort of the combination right there between the two. We'll see. We're still waiting at 30 for it to come back down. I'm willing to lose on this. If this goes back down into 11, I mean, we're having a great day. Not that that means that you can lose, but you know, we'll try it again. If it, well, we almost got filled there. That would have been nice to get that fill. But hopefully they'll come back in and give us that fill at 30, and then we'll use it against that 411. I don't even have the stop set yet, so that's going to be a good one. It was a good out on Oracle down there. We talked about that. Apple could be at a reload spot. It's just heading into these imbalances, and if you guys are wondering what those are, tomorrow we also have. Not tomorrow, sorry. Friday we also have witching, which means that we have expiration of various. It's not quad anymore apparently, but there's single stock futures. Now we have the dailies. Well, they're expiring every day. Weeklies. All this stuff's expiring because you're coming up to the third Friday of a quarter month, right, of September. So you should get some exciting moves, and I do actually expect.
It's also. Like major index for balancing.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, by the quarter. So you get the S&P, and that's it. Not MSCI was August 31st, and now we'll get that tomorrow. So it could be interesting to see if there's any influences here into the close of that trade. So we'll wait to see what's popping off right there for tomorrow. But so far so good.
Hard Session says Apple's going to vomit. I don't know. It's
what,
holding.
Right now?
I looked at it. Here's Apple.
I like the short.
But it could, like double top. That's a double top at 175.20 right there. So if it rejects that, the market rolls over, fine. The ES just kind of went green though, and it's kind of popping to the upside. So I'm sticking with the reversal long, although I'm not out of a firm just yet. So I guess that's pretty good. Tony Price, you have been talking about uranium for a while. So let's pull up uranium energy because you have good look. So UEC, that's uranium energy. It's on the AMEX, or formerly the AMEX, as I'm supposed to say. Obviously, anyone that's been tracking, you know these uranium names have been pretty strong. But a local breakout of the high today at $5. The trend is your friend until the end when it bends. And this, like other, I don't want to say every uranium name, but they have been pretty hot. So this is quite the look on the daily for that name. And now you're breaking out a local high at 5. I guess just look for some continuation. That's a 52-week high break up at the top. One of the things I learned about trading in my first week of when you hired our first group,
Yep.
This would have been like 20 years ago. We had like 3 days of in-class training. And at the time, the owner, the guy that owned, one of the owners of the company came in and kind of joked around and gave us some advice. And one of the things that he said was, everyone talks about buy low and sell high because that's investing. But a lot of times as a trader, you cannot be afraid to buy high and sell higher, because that means you are joining the trend that's going to the upside. If you're always trying to buy low as a day trader, sometimes you're just catching a falling knife. Do not be afraid to buy high and sell higher. That works both ways. You can short low and buy back lower as well. Speaking of that, while we're going back into the, I don't know, man, I have no transition to that. I don't have the website up, or do I? Do we have the website? Oh, I have it. I wanted to shout out our campus program. So speaking of things that we used to do in the past, we used to have, like Sean and I, when we first opened our first floor, we hired only students, right? With a bunch of young, hungry traders. All they wanted to do was learn. All they had to do was put in the time and effort. So that's something that we really resonate with us. You can tell we have a passion for trading. Well, guess what? It's back on, and that is the campus program at Day Trade the World. This is your opportunity here for free. That's the key thing. For free, to jump into a training program where you get to go into the simulator, you get to learn about the markets, you get to go in there, spend a couple of days. There's some exams that you've got to go into. You've got to be willing to put the work in to learn. Then you're going to learn P Pro 8, which is the exact platform that Sean and I and every trader on this floor uses. Everyone at Day Trade the World. You're going to get active on that program. Then you're going to go into the simulator. That's phase 3. You get one-on-one coaching the whole time you're doing this. You do have the opportunity to get to go live. You meet all your goals, you get to go live, you can become a funded trader, and the key about this is it's free. You've got to put the time and effort in, so apply right now. You can go to campus.daytradetheworld.com. You can also check out that QR code below. You have the opportunity to become a funded trader and go live at the end of it. You just got to be willing to put the time and effort in. The key thing is that it's free. And no one's asking anything of you except to put the time and effort in, and that's what trading is going to require of you in general. So you might as well do it. And then you get to pick out winners like this. I mean, I'm not saying I'm in it, but experienced traders would have joined this trend, right? Look at UEC. How you not sit down every single day if you're a uranium trader that trades this name and just look for an opportunity to go long. You don't have to take one, but you should at least be looking for longs, and it gave you a couple. Standard breakout, standard consolidation breakout, and a trend to the upside. That's what you're looking for as a trader. Buy high, sell higher.
Yes,
and
sir.
by the way,
Yes,
you
sir.
do not have, it's not in the U.S. For everyone that keeps on asking about it, we understand that. We'd love to have access to the U.S. markets, but you cannot be American for that. If you're not in Canada, by the way, then just keep on asking and pushing, and then eventually we'll push Day Trade the World to expand it because they listen to demand. That's what it's all about. Companies for traders.
Yeah. We just got, yeah, for sure. I mean, put in your request. It's a fun program, and you'll enjoy it for sure. All right, so we got our Netflix fill right here. Let's go. I mean, if it breaks the bottom of the day, we're out. So 411 and change. I already don't really like it because it rejected up there 414 while the market was going up. Not a good sign, but everything else is fine. Right now, we'll look at Moderna. Still not doing much. We only have a few more minutes until we get these imbalances. Let's see what else is moving around.
Side note, Moderna bounced off lows. Last I checked, Pfizer gave it all back and was busting lower. So once again, Pfizer it's looking doggish. I own shares of my long-term of Pfizer, and it ain't looking good. Just an update here. Disney's running out of steam. I'm blaming it on Netflix because I've been doing that all day long. For any time Disney looks weak, it's Netflix's fault today because that stock was doing so well. It was doing so well. It was going to break out. I swear it was going to break out. We can't seem to get past 83.35. So at 340, what you do is you take more profit. I'm going to trail this one not to the low of the day. I'm going to get out if it breaks down underneath 83.20. So unfortunately, you're not getting a push back into VWAP off these lows, but you were able to get a nice reaction. I wanted Disney to go up today, but it failed the top, and that's all because of Netflix. So Netflix was crashing. Disney was kind of holding, and then when Netflix pushed down, I was kind of already in it when that happened. Talking about why do I keep complaining about the fact that Disney was going to break out? This is a gorgeous hold of $80. And you got to go back to the pandemic bottoms on the daily to see the $80 level. So the fact that it wicked that bottom and was like 3 days in a row to the upside was consolidating a top for a top end break. It was like hold the below here, break out the local high, get to 85. This sucker is going to 90. We're all going to be laughing about the fact that Disney finally caught a bottom and you could trade it to the long side. Maybe you can get some out in your long term up near $100. And then this Netflix thing happened, and this is heading back into the downside. Not a great look. If it gets back under 83, 83 was a big level yesterday on Disney. That's where you were long yesterday. 90% sure about that. Sean, if we get underneath 83, I'm correct about that, right?
Amazon?
No,
Disney.
Disney.
Yeah. We had 2 breaks on that.
Yeah. So this look at 83 on Disney yesterday. That is the open holding going to 84.5. That is then at 11.15, and then it goes all the way to 84. If this doesn't hold on to 83, it's got a bit of a gap that it can fill to the downside. So if we see Netflix 400, there's probably a short Disney 83 tomorrow as well. 5 minutes to go till we get the imbalances. Like I said, I've taken more profit on Disney because it doesn't seem to want to continue higher. And as far as Affirm goes, it is still hitting the lows. It hasn't broken the bottom or broken out of this top, so I'm still sitting in that short. My trail is to here to look for a break of the bottom. I'm thinking this can still fall further because Affirm has been due for a big correction, I think.
You are not wrong about Affirm. I mean, that one's been blasting up. Join me at 4 o'clock, and we talked about this with Danielle Shea when it was hitting that $20 mark, and I know that she had a nice contract on that one. And I'm going to ask her about Adobe. I was trying to search my Twitter, and I don't know how to do that. I actually was lucky enough to buy Adobe on this break, and I haven't got anything out. So I'm still long Adobe like 380 or 390 right here. And that wasn't even that long ago, man. That was May. And I know I tweeted it out. That's why I wanted to talk about it. But all the way to the upside, I was thinking about riding this 50 period. So maybe we'll get some out before. I didn't even realize they report tomorrow. Maybe get some out on that break if it does happen. But maybe it keeps on going to the upside. 335 to buy, says Sharif. So thank you for that one. But Adobe, again, just a wild name. And I bought it because it was part of the NVIDIA. This is a while ago. They came out and were talking about all their chips, and they actually announced that Adobe was one of the bigger adopters and for them initially. So Adobe, it was on that strength, but obviously AI has ruled the day for a lot of stock. All right, so here we go. Breaking through the low of the day right now is Netflix. So I guess we're not getting that 414 anymore, are we? There it comes in. And we said this, man, you fight the trend, it's not your friend. We could get out now for 75 cents if we take the ask, but it looks like it's going to go lower, lower, lower right now as the market not going to hold. And we knew we were in trouble when this happened. It was going up, but then it did not. We thought we would average back into this trade. So here we go. Big cap tech loser right now for Netflix. And it sucks because if we had gotten the initial fill, we would have taken some out. This would probably still be a losing trade because we would have held it all the way back down. And this is the idea, have a stop. So you'll see, my account will flash out here once we take 411. I'm hoping anyways, the orders.
It should work.
Actually, the order is not even present anymore, so I'm gonna have to get that out again as we go. But there it is. It's out now, so hopefully that will fill when it breaks 411. So we'll get out. Well worth the risk for me, man. This will be about $1 with slippage, about $1.50 worth of it. And again, we looked down, we assessed the amount of shares that we wanted on this shot, so we took it. And yeah, we're not doing well on this trade.
There was a question about, is there an age limit for the campus program? I wanted to make sure I answered that question for you guys because we want to make sure you get the right information. To go live, you have to be 16 years old. So for anyone asking, I love hearing the fact that there's interest. I'm assuming you're asking that question because you're under 18. Otherwise, why would you be asking the question? But I love that. And just to give you an aside, I'm not going to name any names here because I don't want to speak for other traders. But Sean and I both know a trader, and over 20 years, you see a lot of traders come in and out. We know some fantastic traders who started their journey when they were really young, like young and hungry. I'm talking like 18 years old. And one of them was called the Boy Wonder, and sometimes it's read at a high school. We actually had a high school co-op student on our trading floor who graduated. So he came in for a summertime co-op just to learn the markets. He went into sim mode. It's like he earned himself live. And then to everyone's surprise, he actually graduated. Of course, everyone said, hey, man, just still go to school, obviously. So he did go to university. Very smart guy. We love you, Nolan. He's a great dude. He doesn't mind. We've asked if we can talk about him. But yeah, so it can happen. Start early, learn about the markets early, take advantage of it if you can. You just can't go live unless you're 16 years old. That's the restriction for the campus program.
Yep, okay. All right, so Netflix, again, see ya, took 411. So tried it, see ya, right? And so, again, we'll tweet, now it'll probably go up. That's okay. It was weak anyways, so it breaks the level. We out right now. So it's too bad. So our average price was 412.20 there, right? And so now that, or 412.32 it was. So now when it drops down, we actually got a pretty good print right at 411. So everything was good. It did wick down all the way to 65 there. We got a 410.91 fill. So it still sucks because now it's back up $1. So it would have been better to hold on to it. But again, we said about being a risk manager, you got to manage your risk. We're only a couple minutes left right now. So that's going to be an L right there. So we'll slap a fail on it because, we got to always talk about both sides of it. And I don't have a problem doing that, right? I mean, you can't learn from your mistakes. And I knew even as I was in that. I mean, look, it went up $1.50. So we didn't take $1.50 and we wound up losing $1.50.
You guys want to see
that's trading, right?
You guys want to see a learning opportunity? I'm going to give you guys a learning opportunity right here, if I can. Anybody that's oh, wait a minute. What the heck? What just happened?
I don't know.
Okay, so Apple we're looking at big tech right now. I don't know what's going on there. There we go. Now things are a little bit more normal. So anyone that knows, I trade like these things called, we're going to get the imbalances and I'll tell the story like very, very quickly. We'll wait till we're kind of out of things. But I'm going to get into what happened to me on Twinkie today because it is worth it. And it was a great opportunity where Imagine being long the bottom and short the top and it being your worst stock on the day. And I'll explain to you how that's able to happen, but we got to get to some business first because the imbalances are dropping any second now. The early look was big on Palantir to the south side. Palantir's $3 million to sell. Amazon's $2 million to buy. This is all over the place. Roblox is $1.3 million to sell. So Roblox sell, Palantir sell, Amazon buy. Grab seems to always be there, but then again, that's a $3 stock. Who cares? Oh, I'm canceling my CCL order. I don't want to get filled on CCL. CCL is a sell imbalance of 800,000. Pinterest, who cares? Alphabet, 600,000 to the buy side. So it's a very mixed board. 745 million shares to buy. Sell. Shreve said buy. It's actually sell. 745 to sell. Sell imbalance. The big name is Palantir, I think, and Amazon. So Palantir sell 3 million. Amazon buy of 2 million shares. Amazon broke a 52-week high today.
Whoa, whoa.
Amazon's a beast, man. Amazon breaking the high of the day on that buy imbalance. Let's have a quick look at Palantir because if Palantir is still moving, yeah, Palantir is not really doing anything on that imbalance. So Palantir doing nothing, Amazon breaking the high on a buy imbalance. It just goes to show, we talk about this all the time. There's no guarantee that just because the imbalances come out one way, that something has to or has to not happen. So good look for Amazon. That is a huge runner. I only want to look long initially on Amazon tomorrow. Doesn't mean you can't short the stock. I've tried some shorts on it, but what a beast it is. New 52-week high for Amazon, so congratulations.
Yeah,
Amazon and Apple will be going in different directions right now.
Yeah, and if you were, following some of the trades, I said the only names that I wanted to buy was Tesla, Amazon, Uber on these way downs, and we've been doing a little bit of it. We haven't bought any Amazon because it hasn't dipped down at all, so that's great, man. 52-week highs, we really like that name. That's been in the account for a while. All right, so 112. Coming into play again for Oracle. This is another 70-cent winner, but again, hopefully this can come back. And just to let everybody know, I had about, I don't know, it was too many. It was more than 5 times the shares on Oracle, obviously, than we did on Netflix. But I'd like to get this down. We are bidding right now 12, so 12, 12, 1, 12, 12 right now on that one. Hopefully that'll come in for us as well, and then all good on that. But yeah, we're getting ready to go over to the big desk for the closing show. I do have a bid on, AMC went up. I was gonna say I have a bid on AMC, but that was at 09s. Now it's trying to hit 13, so let's just cross it in. There we go, we punched it out. So there's an out there on AMC, so that's gonna be a good trade. I do wanna review this trade as we go on the after show, so join me for that recap show. And there it is right there, again, awesome. Hopefully for everybody as well, as there goes Oracle. 12-12 we got out right there, so that's a nice trade. We could talk about that as a day two play as well. Yeah, 1-12-12.
You didn't do that on purpose, did you?
No, I did. I was just saying. I had no real reason to get out. I don't know. I mean, if it falls down, it falls down. Great.
I am the ultimate person guilty. You're gonna take it. You're gonna take it out anyways, and it's at a symmetric price, and you just have the habit of putting it. You don't put 11. You put 12 because you do. I have one position left. It's Disney. I'm gonna be out of that pretty soon because it's rejecting 83.35. Another bounce off the low of the day on a firm. That's enough to get out of it. It just hit that low. I think a firm is reversing. I'm going to look short tomorrow again. It's a shout out, but also with a question. BPQ trade saying MF up 17% and it's going. That MF just seems to run every now and then, so it's making a move. But I have a question for you. BPQ trade and be fit. You got to tell me what the story is with that, because I'll tell you, when you're trading, you're sitting down all day long. And I am one of those people who I have had back problems in the past that are due to the fact that I sit down in a desk and stare at the markets all day long. I actually think it's pretty important that you make sure you take care of yourself, because you can get kinks in your neck, you can get back problems. We're sitting there staring at a screen every single day. Shout out to you for mentioning MF way too late in the day to take a trade. We got to cover the ones that we're in. If you're tuning in for the first time, we are day trading live, and we have to be out at the end of the day. So 4 o'clock, positions closed. Market opens up the next day, we can trade again, which means we can trade the pre-market, but we don't trade the aftermarket just because of those parameters. As I said, Disney is rejecting that 83.40, but it was a nice step down. It's a decent reversal to the upside, just running out of steam here. You're continuing to break down on some of the markets here. Apple actually back underneath 174.50. You already mentioned Netflix is going back down. So maybe I'll just give it a bit of a trail. It's still going to the upside. So what I
Netflix
will
is
do
going
is just
up.
kind of trail it to like 83.35 where it had a rejection before, because I expect in 3 seconds when imbalances flip, a lot of times you'll get some market action there. So with the imbalances possibly flipping, my guess would be Palantir is going to pair off.
Look at
I don't even see Palantir anymore. That's a BKR. I don't see it. Roblox, those are all gone. Yeah, it looks like we get a big pairing event there. A lot of the big names have paired off. All you see is that early look from before. So Palantir, that big imbalance has paired off there. Disney's still going a little bit.
All right, Sharif, check your PM there. You saw it already. Okay, good. All right, so I'm about to flip over. Neil can tell you his story about Twinkies there because it's 355. So yeah, Apple absolutely tanking at the end of the day. That was a good short, but to predict
Apple's a problem.
Yeah, to predict anything that is going to happen into those imbalances is really, really tough. Netflix also just went up to 412 again. Now it's coming back into that 411. I think this will be a tomorrow trade for sure. And then just checking the temperature on Oracle, right where we were. And then AMC as well, good out for us on that one. So yeah, so far so good, but it's 3:56. I'm going to head over to the desk. You could join me on the recap show. We'll have a half hour of a lot of fun with Trader Danielle talking all about options as well at 4:15. So get ready to rock and roll with that. I'll leave you now. I'm going to log out, make sure that all my stuff is saved over here, and then we'll move over to the big desk and get ready for the closing, the recap show, which is up in just a couple of minutes. So take it away, and I'll see everybody soon.
Even you don't love to call it the recap. I really like...
I don't mind it. It's just,
No, I don't mind it either. It's just, it's so natural to say, I like the after show. It is what it is. You call it whatever you want. I don't care what you guys call the after show or the recap show as long as you tune in, right? Like at the end of the day, you're just there to learn about the markets like all of us are. That's what it's about. So I have my trailing stop on Disney. It's the last thing I'm going to get into. I promised I would do this. We try to show, like for me, and I said this to like Brankles or our trading floor manager, like sometimes the market's gonna get you. Anybody that knows the deal going on between Smuckers and Twinkie, so it's a cash and stock deal, $30 in cash, and then you get shares of SJM, which means loosely speaking, TWNK should be following SJM. Now today, when it started going up and rejecting to the downside, I was all over this on the weakness in SJM, shorting Twinkie. But I'll show you one mistake that ruined the entire day. I shorted the local bottom, and I missed a stop out and then didn't punch out. Now, because it then failed here at the high, it's like, look, I'm still in the trade. It's failing the top. The trade next is to short. So I do short the top and get some of it back. When it stair steps down, I short again. I'm covering. I don't know why I'm covering in here. That's just probably, I'm covering these shares here, and I'm covering these shares down there. I then long the bottom, get the bottom, and then it goes right back into VWAP. Like that is having the top, reloading and getting out at the right place, reversing it at the right place, but this one mistake of not having a stop out there, right in here, and then holding those shares up to the top, that's enough to eliminate all of the 1, 2, and getting out there, and then 3, and then again 4, kind of flat at the end of the day. Like 4 positive trades eliminated by one mistake early on in the day. That's on me. It happens to you. This is why you trade with an out, because I didn't need here to my out. And it ended up burning me today. Momentum can be one thing. I do trade these on the side. It was a big mistake for me. With 1.5 minutes to go, a couple of things. 145 on Amazon. 52-week high, like we said. This is the runner. This is the one we want to start the day thinking about longs on. It is super strong. The volume today has been decent, but I don't care. I want to see relative strength. The market has been only okay to the upside. Well, Amazon's been an absolute beast. As bad as things have been for Apple, the last couple of sessions, it's just as good for Amazon to set upside. Less than 1 minute to go. Terper, what level are you going to short on a firm tomorrow? I don't like to predetermine trades. Like, what am I looking for? I mean, obviously, I like 24. The other level could be like this. You just kind of look at 23.60, a flat bottom break, if we can get that, like 23.35 where it bottomed out today, underneath 23 even. There's a lot of possibilities here, but I can't say for sure until I look at it, dissect the chart, see where it's gapping to in the afternoon. I never predetermine trades. I might like a reversal because of what I see here, but that doesn't mean I know the price. So I'm going to be looking for that short in a firm. With only 15 seconds to go, I see Katrine getting ready. She better hurry up because we got about 10 seconds. Been a fun hump day. Tomorrow we get ARM IPO, but in 4, 3, 2, and 1, let's ring it. And now the casino is closed. And I joke when I say casino closed. That's just a line. Obviously, you know, when you're trading in the markets, you should always have a bit of a plan. Just kind of took the closing print on Disney. I didn't get trailed out on Disney, so I just kind of manually got myself out there on Disney. It ends up covering. I could have taken the print. It would have been even better, but I ended up punching out at 35 at the end. So it is 4 o'clock. We are looking for Adobe. Obviously, that's going to be a big name, 2% to the upside today. Remember what happened, Oracle. It could be absolutely nasty. Want to give a big shout out to Adam on the midday. Adam did a fantastic job with Max. I do believe we're going to have the return of Obi tomorrow, but I want to shout him out. Great day today. Of course, Ramin and Fabian on the 1s and 2s, as always, doing a kick-ass job. Sharif's been doing a great job filling in for Brennan, who's back next week. I'm Neil. You know where you're headed. Do not go anywhere. Stick around. You've got Adobe earnings. You've got Danielle Shea talking some options. Probably a little talk about the ARM IPO tomorrow. You're going to, I call it the after show. Sorry. Let's go to the desk with Sean.
Welcome to the recap show. Thank you so much. I'm Sean Katina, and you probably just got a lot of me for 2 hours. You're going to get another half hour right now.